Yo, what's good everyone? In this video, I'm going to showcase 50 tips and tricks that are going to completely change the way you think about warming up in Fortnite. These are the 50 best tips I can come up with that are going to help a mix of all players. Whether you're new or been playing the game for a while, these tips are going to help you out a lot. A video like this has never been done before, so I decided to get my creative juices flowing and whip one up. There's a wide variety of tips in here stemming from movement while aiming, how to constantly be motivated to warm up, the best drills to practice, how to warm up your sniper aim, and new creative ways to make the way you warm up more efficient. Be aware though, depending on your skill level to the game, you might know some of these tips already. So try not to leave any comments saying I have trash tips just because you know some of the 50. Some of these tips I never knew about, and others are probably tips you forgot about. Be aware that I'm shooting these tips off as fast as possible, so if it seems rushed or short, you know why. Don't forget to use code KEMBEANS in the item shop, and let's get this going. I'm gonna give 2 bonus tips at the beginning of the video, just because once I got to 50, I felt like I couldn't leave these out. Lots of pros do not use edit courses to warm up. Mr. Saevids himself said that he prefers to crank and free build rather than do edit courses. I've been noticing a lot of pros seem to be on this meta, but no one really talks about it during their tip vids. Only do edit courses if you're brand new to the game and you're trying to memorize your binds. This is the free build map that Mr. Saevids uses, and it's also going to be in the description down below. It's not good to warm up for extensive periods of time. This can make some people tired and play worse in the end. Saevids said that he warms up for about an hour. It's mostly personal preference, but keep it relatively short. Doesn't need to be too long. You always want to warm up with your aim first because you'll never be able to kill someone if your aim is rusty. When you're tracking targets in a creative, make sure you're tracking targets with hip fire and aiming down to ensure that both of those mechanics are feeling good. Do not tense up your wrist when you first hop on. Pay attention to being relaxed and focused. Make sure it's smooth and precise. Try not to focus on your crosshair, but rather your opponent instead. That's how you're going to realistically aim in game. Don't tire yourself out and train for hours on end. Use your time wisely. Spread it out between things you need to practice and get done. Aim duels are essential for aim growth on Fortnite. If you got no friends, just hop into a Discord server or randomly queue with someone in the matchmaking system. Raiders 1v1 aim duel maps and almost every other map has matchmaking for you. Never forget your original sense, but practice on a lower and higher sense. This is a slept on tip that helps you master the full feeling of your sensitivity. Play zone wars to warm up your mechanics and aim. Don't substitute it for your aim practice, but it's still useful to know. If you take comps seriously, use realistic fighting maps so that you don't just spam mats the whole game. This makes you think about what you do before you place it, which will increase your IQ. Tip 10, always play to challenge yourself. Mindset can go a long way when you're warming up. It does get boring sometimes. Make mistakes in practice so that you don't make them in game. Don't always sit in the box and wait for zone to close. Cranking creative, but under one condition. Try to never mess up an edit or build the whole time. Doing this all the time will make your edits more consistent when you play. Kovacs is just as optimal as creative maps when you're warming up your aim. Feel free to use whatever you're comfortable with. Start with the boring things first in your warm-up so that you have something a little more exciting to go to as you near the end of the warm-up. Include things that you know you're not good at in your warm-up. If you're consistent enough with the things you hate the most, those might be the things that you enjoy the most in the future. Try to find maps with a lot of variety in them to get familiar with every area of the game. Use edit courses that have targets in them as well so that you're nailing 2 things with one stone: piece control and aim. Don't get lazy with warm-ups. Try to stick to a routine because everyone struggles with being rusty when they first get on. Find your flow state in Fortnite. This is the time it takes you to get fully warmed up. You want to be in the state before you hop into any tourneys. It's different for everyone, so make sure you keep your eyes on the clock while you're playing. Maybe even write down how long it takes you each time you hop on the game to get into the state where you feel like you can poop on anyone. Be in it for the long-term improvement instead of the short. Just remember the people who have insane mechanics have been practicing since release. So when it comes to warm-ups, you want to remember that. No matter what you play on, console, Switch, a trash PC, high ping, go the extra mile and train harder. Lots of people come up with all these excuses, but there are 200 ping gods and low FPS gods out there. Strive and struggle to get better, and remember the long game tip. Shout out my man Jivin, link down below, for some of these next tips. But tip 22, go check this man out because we both have content aimed towards improvement. Before a tournament like Cash Cup, play Arena in sets before the real thing starts. Playing Arena in sets of 10 games is a good way to not get demotivated since you know it has a finite end. Set short goals each day you get on so you can keep track of progress as you warm up. Remember things you couldn't do and watch how they get better. This is going to help your mindset when you don't feel like playing. Practice the same way every time. Get up, make your back straight, and get ready to be a tryhard. Make sure your hands are in the same spot every time when you practice to build muscle memory. If you're a controller player, this would be resting your hands in your lap. If you're a keyboard and mouse player, it could probably be a position at which you angle your keyboard. Practice with a gun while you free build and shoot pretend targets. Work on rapid fire wall edits. Start out slow and smooth, and as the days go on, you can slightly try and get faster. I would say try and at least spend 5 to 10 minutes and you're gonna notice a difference each day, whether it's small or big. Most likely small though. You then should add a gun while you do it to practice peek shotting after you do certain wall edits. Use pretend targets. Another drill I really like is these wall flips. Just constantly go in a circle around this wall and reset and edit it over and over and over. Start by clicking on the bottom tile and dragging up so that by the time you confirm the edit, you're already head height to get a 200 pump. If you're a comp player or not, include different types of tarping into your warm-up routine. routine. Go out of your way to learn new ones too. Every pro and their mother constantly tarps in creative so that when they need to do it in endgame, they have all the kinks out. Scrim in at least a few games to get warmed up to the amount of third parties that are going to happen in Fortnite. This is the best form of no pressure practice. Try and stay away from scrims without a ladder system because then they will just waste your time waiting for the final zones to come in. Scrim ladders are played like real games with no zone rules. 1v1 different people so that you learn ways to counter different play styles. Write down things you need to improve on so that you work on it in the warm-up. It doesn't always have to be this intense thing where you play till your arms come off. I kind of feel bad for the people who find it boring. Sometimes you could turn off your game volume entirely and listen to a podcast or music and just vibe out, especially when you aim train. Even I do this. Give or take, you want to practice for at least 30 minutes, but literally everyone on the planet says something different. One of the pros I watch a lot, Saevids from EU, he says that he practices his aim, building, and editing all one at a time and does it till he feels like he's ready to go. That's something I agree with. There doesn't have to be this set frame you must follow. Just don't slack on it and be honest with yourself. And be honest, it will work for you. Just have some faith. Try to aim at 2 tiles really quickly. Go 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Just don't go Rambo on it because that's completely unrealistic. Obviously you want it to be fast, but have some sort of rhythm to it, whether it's fast or slow. Practice small targets and big targets. This is a simple tip, but the smaller targets, the better you will get at trying to tag people from really far away for Storm Surge. Unless you're aiming at a fish head, sometimes big targets are unrealistic. For the love of all beings, you do not need to be amazing at raid or edit courses. The goal is to get warmed up, not know how to do them blindfolded. It's more important to just know how to build and string edits back to back rather than know the edit course in and out. I can guarantee you that there are a lot of pros that are trash at edit courses but are stinky at the game. Practice new exploits in the current meta when you warm up. I'm not going to be able to tell you all of them, but some include the one with the new sniper and the one with the rocks to jump into someone's box. Even practice jumping into people's box with a stair over your head is mega important. Don't sleep on this tip. Make sure on whatever drills you practice, you incorporate movement while you shoot. You never stand still in a real match, so adding that element to training will make it more realistic. Even small movements are going to help you. It doesn't got to be major. This is important. Whenever warming up and just in general, always aim for the head with every AR shot. Lots of people just practice body shots and that's the wrong way to go about it. When you're horizontally and vertically tracking zombies, just try and shoot them in the head. You're not going to hit every shot, but try. Whenever you aim duel, focus on movement just as much as your aim. This is going to give you an edge when you got no mats in real games. Time strafes and jumps correctly and pair that with crouching mad fast too. Quick tip for strafing. The goal is to get up close and personal and run and duck down to the bottom right hand side of your opponent's view. Just to be clear, that's the left side for you. Whenever you finish practicing your warm-ups, make sure you go out of your way to apply what you learned in real box fights that you have. The best way to practice sniping, use this map by Reverse 2K. If you guys don't know, he is really good at sniping and now you can see why. This map features a few different snipers to use so that you can practice it before you hop into a game. Definitely do this, here's the code. The best tunnel map that I found was also in Reverse's map. Instead of annoying bots that break walls and shoot you, it's the shooting dart traps that only do 50 damage to you. And here you have about 1,000 health though. If you're the IGL like Reverse, this is more efficient and a smooth way to practice. It has all different types of tarps and obstacles too. There is nothing more realistic than competitive arena. It's a nice way to get ready for whatever tourney you're about to play in. If you warm up in arena, just straight W key people. Placement is not the goal when warming up. This is a recap tip. If for some reason you remember nothing from this video, remember that free building and practicing with a gun is probably the #1 best way to warm up your mechanics. And obviously, the aiming side, you need to use some sort of aim duel or creative map. Edit courses are important, but don't go crazy with them. You shouldn't be able to do an edit course blindfolded. And we good. As I get to the 50th tip every time, all I ask is that if you learn something, a follow on Twitch would mean the world to me. Oh, and before I forget though, if you use my code in the item shop, send me proof on Twitter because I'm gonna be shouting out some people at the end of my videos like it's Jarian. It's okay, a nice way to show thanks to the true homies who support me. I'm not even trolling. 50 tips for warming up was really hard for me to do for some reason. If you like this video, then make sure you actually like this video and turn on post notifications. Just an FYI, I'm almost fairly confident that I'm turning this into a series. These 50 tips on certain topics have been doing really well on my channel. My goal is to kind of post faster, but in all honesty, I think quality over quantity in this area is going to work out better. Let me know what you think in the comments. All I ask is to bear with me because there's going to be some banger videos releasing in the future. If you watch any Fortnite tips and trick YouTubers, you're going to want to get sub to this one because I'm going to make sure that this channel has everything there is to know about this game. Literally. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Hope everyone has a good day and a wonderful rest of your night. Don't forget to use code KENMEANS in the item shop, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Deuces, everyone. Peace.